Okay, so I want to do a new series for the channel where I go over 3 bullet points for whatever character. Um, basically equipment, skills, and teams. So the first character I'm gonna do is Snow White because she's my main, and obviously Snow White is the goat, so why not? Going over equipment first. In terms of overload gear, right? The 3 things you want to look out for in the overload skills you get would be element damage, attack buff, and charge damage. Those are the 3 most important things for Snow White. Now, obviously, my lines that I have aren't that great. I need to do some rerolls for Snow White. Like I got 1 charge damage. I got charge speed, like defense up, like whatever the heck that's for. Element damage, I got 1 of those. Cube, you want to go for onslaught cube, more charge damage. Can't go wrong with that. Now my cube will be a lot higher level, but
Good job, human.
nihilists are spare bodies, so that had to come first. Now for skills, level 10 burst is a must. I cannot stress that enough. If you are going to upgrade anything for Snow White, her burst has to come first. Her skill 1 and 2, they're okay. They're nothing special, to be honest. The thing about her skill 1 and skill 2 is you can basically leave them at like 4 or 5 and it'll be perfectly fine. But me personally, I'm gonna push for 10 10 10. You can't necessarily go wrong with 10 10 10. It's just taking resources away that you can use for other characters. So I mean, you'll get them back, you just have to wait longer unless a whale and you're paying for everything. But 3rd bullet point, teams. Now her most important units that she can pair with would be Miranda for burst 1 because of Miranda's burst and her skill 2, granting her really good critical damage buff and attack damage buff. Maxwell for her skill 1, massive attack buff, 43.1% for 10 seconds, and charge speed. And another character with a massive attack buff is Yuha. Granted, Yuha's her active buff is every 30 seconds, but 78.37% for 5 seconds. So you have to time Snow White's charge with Eula's attack buff. It can be a little tricky at times, but once you lab a boss or whatever, you'll get used to doing it. Some other alternatives, you have Privity's attack buff for skill 1. It's not as big as the other characters, but it's still pretty good. So you can use her for burst 3. You have Polly for burst 2. She gets a pretty good attack buff off her burst, but mine is only at level 3. I don't really use Polly that much because I use mostly Blanc for burst 2. Now you can use Blanc, but you can also use Novel. I personally have yet to use Novel. She's really good. She's a really good pair for Snow White because of her burst. Now, Blanc works different than the Novels. They do the same thing, right? Damage taken up, but Novels is better. Like the damage that you get from Novel is higher than Blanc. But as for me, I just prefer to use the bunnies, if not just Blanc and another second burst. At some point I'll start using Novel, but just not today. But yeah, that should be it. I'm looking. Oh, Red Hood. Red Hood has a really good attack buff. But hers is based off of the caster's attack, not so much like a straight up stat increase like Miranda's or Privity's and Maxwell's, but it does work. Now it is depending on, you know, how strong your Red Hood is. If your Red Hood has like, you know, max limit break or, you know, core whatever, core 7, the attack buff is going to be better than not having any. But it's still pretty good. It's still a pretty good attack buff. I would still prefer to use Miranda and use Red Hood for something else if you could. But with that being said, that should be about it. What else can I say about the GOAT? I mean, she's the GOAT. I don't know how else to put it. But yeah, let me know what character I should do next, because I really want to make this a pretty consistent series on the channel. So if you have any other characters that you want me to cover, I'll try and get to them if I have them. I have most of the characters. I'm only missing like a handful. But with that being said, appreciate you for watching the video. Make sure to comment, like, and sub, and I'll catch y'all later.